Hello everyone, welcome back to the Cut the Craps Politics channel. Today we're going to be doing another look at the 2024 presidential election. Last time I predicted that Joe Biden would win the election this November in 2024. I just want to start off by saying that those predictions were done on current polling at that time, as well as how states have voted in the past, particularly in 2020. So even though a state like Pennsylvania might flip-flop between Biden and Trump, I think it's safe to say that it is more likely that it will go to Biden, given the history of how Pennsylvania has voted in presidential elections. So in this video, I'm going to do something a little different. A lot of the polling that I'm looking at is a lot different than it was even a week or two ago, and some things have changed. So in this video, I'm going to be exploring how Donald Trump could win the 2024 presidential election. So in the United States, the president is not decided by the national popular vote, but by the Electoral College. So the Electoral College is a grouping of people called electors who are designated by the Constitution to select the president and the vice president of the United States. Each of the 50 states plus DC is allocated a certain amount of electoral votes based on their state population. So in total, there are 538 electoral votes up for grabs that you can see at the bottom, and it requires 270 in order to be elected president. So with that out of the way, let's look at our candidates. With the Democratic Party, we have Joe Biden. With the Republican Party, we have Donald Trump. As an independent, we have Robert F. Kennedy Jr. And with the Green Party and Movement for a People's Party is Cornel West. I'd just like to say that the chances of RFK Jr. or Cornel West are extremely low to impossible, but I kind of just put them on here for shits and giggles. So let's start with the states that we can deem safe for Joe Biden. Washington, Oregon, California. We can also deem Hawaii safe, as well as Illinois. We can also do Massachusetts, Rhode Island, Maryland, Delaware, New Jersey, Connecticut, Vermont, the 1st Congressional District of Maine, and of course, New York. Moving on to the states we can deem safe for Donald Trump. Bear with me, this is going to be a long one. Utah, Idaho, Montana, Wyoming, North Dakota, South Dakota, Nebraska's 3rd Congressional District, Nebraska at large. We can also deem Missouri, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, Connecticut, Indiana, West Virginia. 3 states that we can deem quite likely for Donald Trump is Alaska, as well as Kansas. Nebraska's 1st Congressional District is quite likely, and we can also deem South Carolina quite likely for Donald. States we can label as quite likely for Joe Biden is New Mexico, Colorado, as well as Virginia. So sometimes I think people kind of get confused why Texas is not considered a safe state. Because I think a lot of people think of Texas, they think of Deep South, guns and liberty and all that kind of stuff. However, compared to other states, Texas is not as solid red as, say, like Idaho or Tennessee. Currently in Texas, Biden's pulling at around 41% with Donald Trump around 48%. Which is a 7-point lead for Trump, which is quite good. I think we can put Texas on likely as well. New Hampshire is currently polling at 52 to Joe Biden and 45 to Donald Trump, so that's a 7-point lead. At one point, Biden was leading by 12 points. At one point, he was also leading by 4. So this has been really back and forth. I don't think I would call New Hampshire likely, but I think I would definitely put it on lean. Moving even further north to Maine, we can call Maine at large looking to be likely. We have already called Maine's 1st Congressional District as quite safe for Joe Biden, and we can call Maine's 2nd Congressional District safe for Donald Trump. As a poll that closed in February 14th of 2024, Donald Trump was leading with 45 and Joe Biden with 23%. That was with 30% undecided. So this Maine may go towards likely. However, I think as of right now, we can call Maine's 2nd congressional district safe for Trump. Moving west to Iowa, I think we can call Iowa safe for Donald Trump. I don't think Biden will be swaying Iowa back towards the Democrats. Moving east to Ohio, I think we can also call Ohio safe for Donald Trump. Currently, Trump's sitting at an 11-point lead over Biden. At one point, he was sitting at, I believe, a 20-point lead. Ohio will be staying with the Republicans and staying with Donald Trump. North Carolina, I think we can also say, is leaning towards Donald Trump. This may be a controversial take. However, several polling organizations have been labeling North Carolina as a lean, a tilt, and even a toss-up. I don't even think it would tilt for Trump. I don't think Biden has that momentum in North Carolina. I think Trump's going to hold on to North Carolina. Moving on down to Florida, we can call Florida as likely for Donald Trump. I've been quite surprised to see how Florida has changed so much. How it went from going blue in 2008 for Obama and now is now almost a safe red state. And I just kind of think it's ironic because Joe Biden was Obama's vice president and he is not enjoying any sort of momentum in Florida. It's just kind of maybe not what you would expect. But hey, maybe Floridians would say otherwise. Maybe they're not very surprised at all. Moving on to Minnesota, I think we can call this a lean for Joe Biden. He did take Minnesota in 2020. Several polling organizations are calling Minnesota likely as well as a lean. However, when I'm actually looking at polling numbers, Joe Biden is leading Donald Trump by sometimes 3 or 4%. I think it's quite likely that Biden will take Minnesota. However, I don't think it's a safe or likely state for him. Zooming in on Nebraska's 2nd congressional district, I think we can say this is a lean for Joe Biden. I would not be surprised if Trump were to win Nebraska's 2nd congressional district after taking a closer look into the results from 2020 and even the polling happening now. I don't know if he has it in him to take Nebraska 2 again. Moving westward towards Nevada. So as you can see, no candidate, according to this map, would have 270 yet to be elected President of the United States. So very much like in 2020, these are to be likely the 6 states that will decide who will be president come 2024 or come 2025. So let's start with Nevada. In 2020, Nevada went towards Joe Biden. However, based on current polling, it is looking like it is also going to be another toss-up state. However, as of right now, it is appearing like Trump has a tilt in Nevada, which means that it's well within the margin of error. It's very likely that this could be a Joe Biden tilt, just as much as it's likely as being a Donald Trump tilt. However, based on what I'm seeing right now, it is looking like Nevada will go to Donald Trump. Once again, just like 2020, Arizona is once again looking like it's going to be a toss-up. However, based on the polling that I can see, it's going to be just the same as Nevada, another tilt for Donald Trump. Now, like I said, that could mean, don't hold this to me. Come November, Biden might win Arizona. However, right now, it is looking like it is siding towards Trump, ever so slightly. Finishing off the New England area, we are going to move on to Pennsylvania. So as you know, in 2020, Pennsylvania was a deciding state, and it went towards Joe Biden. Now, I am seeing that Pennsylvania is once again a toss-up state. It's been flip-flopping between Joe Biden and Donald Trump, the margins between them becoming razor thin and quite consistently staying within the margin of error, meaning essentially we don't really know how things are going to go in Pennsylvania. However, looking at it all together, it's quite possible that Pennsylvania will tilt. Let's finish off the South and go on down to Georgia. So, like you know, in 2020, Georgia went to Joe Biden, which was quite shocking. It was like the only state in the South that actually went to Joe Biden. And when it happened, I was actually really surprised. I think a lot of people were. However, it is looking like, based on current polling, it's going to be a toss-up again come November. However, it has been consistently polling ever since May of 2023 towards Donald Trump. I think we can put this, I don't even think I'd put it in a tilt. I think it would be, leaning towards Donald Trump. I think it's even more safe for Trump. So based on that, Donald Trump would only need 2 more electoral votes, meaning he would only need to win either Wisconsin or Michigan. Joe Biden, however, would need to win both. Biden, based on this map, would not be able to afford to lose either state. Moving on to Wisconsin. Wisconsin is another toss-up. It's been going back and forth between Trump and Biden. In 2020, it went towards Biden. So based on that, I'd have to say Wisconsin is going to be a toss-up come November. Could go either way. However, based on the results of 2020, as well as the general consensus within Wisconsin, I would say that Wisconsin would be a tilt towards Joe Biden. And this is close. And you may not agree with some of these decisions I've made. That's fine. You don't have to agree. Everyone's allowed to have their own opinion. However, we are going to move on to the final state. Michigan has been polling for Trump ever since November of 2023. However, has flip-flopped a little. Some are calling it a tilt and a lean for the Democrats. Some are calling it a lean for the Republicans. I think we can say that Michigan will be, or could be, a tilt towards Donald Trump. I think the states that are likely to change the most is Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. I think those are the 3 states that are going to decide this election. And you're very likely to see all of these go to Trump, the same as you're likely to see them all go towards Biden. We seriously will not know until the election is over. There's no telling exactly what will happen. Based on current polling, this is how I would label the map, either with Wisconsin being a likely for Trump or a likely for Biden. Regardless, though, in this map, Donald Trump would win and would become the president come 2025. Unsurprisingly, RFK Jr. and Cornel West are not receiving any electoral votes. I could definitely see RFK Jr. doing quite well in some states, making a strong, perhaps 5-4%. Cornel West, can't see doing very well, probably polling around 1, maybe a little under 1%. In some of the most progressive states such as California or New York. But overall, can't see him doing very well. So that is my prediction on how 2024 could go to Donald Trump. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please like, subscribe, do all those things that people ask you to do. If you have any feedback or criticism, let me know in the comments. I would be happy to read them, go over them, and engage with what anybody has to say. So thank you so much for watching.